Hey everyone, welcome to the Black Spinner Music Vidcast with me, Andy Rodriguez, and Al Horta. What's up, Al?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Andy?
Oh man, just rocking and rolling as
Cheers,
always.
everyone.
Excited about tonight's show. We've got the great Shane the Mooger Paisley with us,
Mooger Fooger.
Hey
and
guys.
What's up, dude?
Good. Not much, man. Thanks for having me. It's always a blast to be on with you guys. Um, just enjoying a little bit of a spring warm up here in Fort Wayne, and we'll be back to reality on Monday. But then we'll balance out. But man, it's been a good week. It's a busy week, but I'm happy to have time to sit in with you guys.
okay. Hey, well, great. Thanks for taking the time to spend it with us. What we're doing today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to be ranking the studio albums of the Allman Brothers. Now, Al and I have been big fans of the Allman Brothers for a very long time, so it's kind of a
Absolutely.
surprise we haven't done anything like this for them.
Yeah.
Um, Mooger, what's your history with the Allman Brothers?
My goodness, not enough,
Mm,
apparently. I mean, to be honest with you, of course, I've known the Allman Brothers since I could hear music. I'm sure it was playing out of somebody's radio.
mhm.
Just classic, timeless songs for sure. But I don't own one Allman Brothers anything, and
Okay.
that has to change. Actually, I've created quite the list off of our list that we put together tonight, and yeah, man, mad respect for the band. The fact that I don't own anything is just a matter of I didn't get around to owning anything, I suppose. It just
Right.
wasn't on my hot list. But classic band, I've known about them forever, as long as I can remember hearing music. And man, they have got some all-time amazing classic and deep track songs, man.
Oof, yeah.
They're, they are. We're going to say a lot through the episode,
Oh, yeah.
so I'll kind of save it for that. But yeah, man, great band, classic.
And Al, how many times have you seen the Allman Brothers live, Al?
Oh, dude, I never even counted, but I didn't start seeing them until like in the 2000s. Um, I never saw them like
Right.
back in the day when, well, obviously I didn't see them in the 70s. I was too young. And then, that there was a period through the 80s where like they weren't really, doing much. But then in the 90s when they came back, and then it was until like maybe mid to late 2000s, probably mid 2000s, I started seeing them. Or yeah, probably mid 2004, 2005, maybe.
Yeah.
They would do a they would do a let me just fix
A
this real quick here.
residency.
Sorry about that. I'm a little crooked there. All right. But they would do a they would do something called Peeking at the Beacon. So every March, during like March Madness, but they had their own kind of March Madness. Like half the month, like 15 dates, they would
Wow.
book the Beacon Theater in New York City and play there. And each night was, different than, they were always want to switch up the set lists and just do completely different shows every night. So I wasn't, yeah, financially, I wasn't that fanatical where I went like all 15 nights.
Right.
It would have just been impossible for me, unless I was given free tickets for like half the nights. But I would try to hit up like about I would try to hit up about 3 or 4 shows during the March. So I mean, that kind of became a it kind of became a tradition like almost every year. Like me and my friend Donato, we were huge Allman Brothers. I mean, actually, I didn't get into them until around that time. Obviously I knew their music when I was younger. I remember it, but I don't really think my brother had anything by them in his collection. But it wasn't until like I kind of started listening to them in like, the '90s or in the early 2000s. I really started getting into them, and so by that time, like my friend Donato was a huge fan. When I met him in 2001, we bonded over like quite a few bands, and they were like one of them. And then finally, we were like, we got to go see them, and we would always go together. It was kind of our tradition. We at least one of the shows out of the March, and then I would go with like some other of my friends too that were into them. So it kind of became a yearly tradition. Like every March, man, when they would come to the Beacon Theater, we would go see them, and there was one year where the Beacon Theater somehow it got booked. They booked another thing, and kind of the Allman Brothers had to move to another theater up in Harlem called the United Palace Theater. So one year was not the Beacon Theater. And it was just kind of a weird because everybody was so used to seeing them at Beacon Theater. It was kind of like their home in New York. That it was like the shows were good, but it was just kind of weird seeing them in a different theater. It wasn't the same vibe. And then the next year they went back to the Beacon Theater up until the end, the last. And I didn't see them on their final tour. The tickets were just when they announced like they were going to do one last run. The tickets were just so outrageously expensive that I was just like, I can't do it. But the year before was when I won a grand prize thing where I got to sit on stage with them. So I actually got to sit on stage with the Allman Brothers. Like they have 2 seats on stage for like every night for 2 lucky like winners or whatever. And my friend and I, we went up on stage. They gave us, when we went up on stage, they were like, you can't get up off this, like, it doesn't matter if you got to piss your pants or whatever. You can't, during their set, you can't get up and walk off stage. You have to stay in your seat. So my friend and I purposely, I mean, we didn't drink any beer that night, nothing. We just was like, we're not drinking nothing. We're not. So we didn't want to fucking fuck it up. So, and then they play 2 sets. So in between the break, between the 2 sets, we got up out of our seats and we were like kind of wandering because we had like, you know, like laminates and stuff. And we were like kind of wandering around backstage. I ran into Butch Trucks, the drummer.
Yeah.
And it was funny on the when they brought us to our seats, they had it was like a sheet of paper on the seat. It said reserved for oh shit, man, you know, I should have grabbed it, but it said reserved for contest winners or best seats winners or something like that. And it had the Allman Brothers logo on it and everything. So I grabbed that sheet and I had a Sharpie on me and I had a couple of CDs too, because just in case like I was gonna meet any of them. So I'm wandering backstage and I wander into Butch Trucks and Warren Haynes. They're like talking to like somebody, I guess, you know, and I was like, hey, they signed that sheet. The I reserved for best winners stuff. I had them sign that, and then I had like a Government Mule CD sign that, and Butch Truck signed something else. And anyway, so, and then when they were signing it, like I guess like I don't know, like the stage manager or something, he saw me and my friend, and they yelled at us, was like, "You're not supposed to be back here," or whatever. So we kind of left there, went to the bathroom, and then came back, and we went back to our seats, and they started their second set. Now after that show, we were outside. We went around the side of the Beacon Theater, and out of the side door, just walks out and walks up the street as Derek Trucks, with his like fucking like a backpack on him, and I don't know if he was carrying a guitar though, but I don't remember that. But I go running up the street and I'm like, hey Derek, can you sign this for me? I had one of Derek's Trucks like CDs, and he signed that sheet too. And I came back, and lo and behold, when I came back, he was cool though. He was nice. But this is kind of before, like, I didn't get a picture of him. It was before, like, the cell phone camera thing were really good. I think cell phones had cameras, but they weren't really that good. There was none of that selfie shit yet, where the screen faces you and whatever. And anyway, I didn't want to bother the guy. I just ran up, and I was like, hey, it was a great show. I got to sit on stage. I was, like, right by you and stuff. So, and he signed the sheet and everything and the CD. And I came back down by the Beacon, and lo and behold, coming out of the side door is Greg Allman.
Holy shit.
So I ran up to him and he signed my I have this sheet. So the backstage pass, it was a sticker. When I got home, I took the backstage sticker off. I put it on the sheet with all their signatures on it, and I put it in like a binder, like a plastic binder, like it's preserved. Yeah. But I want to frame it. I want to get a nice frame for it and display it on my wall. I got Butch Trucks is gone and Greg Allman's gone. I mean, all of them. From the classic line. Dickie wasn't there, so I never met him in person. But J-Mo's like the only one left. You know, out of that whole classic lineup. But I have I got 4 like autographs on there, and it's just like 2 of them are dead. It's like it's sacred now, you know. I'm glad I like kind of broke the rules a little bit, but I got to meet them, man. They were cool, man, you know. So But yeah, so that was the last time I saw him. So the next year, when the tickets were all astronomical and like high, I was like, you know what? I sat on stage with him. It ain't gonna get any fucking better than this.
Mhm.
So even if I
Right.
don't see this last tour, well, I mean, how much better is it gonna get? You know, I got to see the. I mean, I was on stage like, and Greg Allman was like 10 feet away from me, dude. It was like
That's nuts.
fucking amazing, dude. It was
It
like,
is.
it was almost like I was playing on stage with them. It was so awesome, dude. So I knew I could never top that, and I didn't try. So I was good. But I mean, as far as how many times I saw him, I don't know, man. Maybe 15, 20 times,
Damn.
you know.
Mm.
And I remember after that show that I sat on stage too, they would have this thing. You can go to the merch stand. They had this thing called Instant Live CDs. They used to. You can get a copy of that show if you waited around. If you signed
Yeah.
up for it. And that night I went and I got the copy of that show. They burned the CD it was like a 3 CD set. It was so long. It took up 3 CDs and they gave me. I still have it, man. Like the CD of that show.
Dude, that rules. Did it
Yeah,
sound good?
they were doing that for like every show.
Yeah.
So, but they allowed you to tape the shows too. You can bring recording equipment in, and they allowed taping. They were one of those quote unquote taper friendly bands like the Grateful Dead was,
Right.
and a lot of a lot of the jam bands were like that way. They allowed fans to record the shows, you know. So I recorded a couple of them myself because I had a DAT recorder, digital recorder. But that night I was sitting on stage. I wasn't gonna record anything. I'm like, I just want to sit back, fucking enjoy the show, and that's it, man. You know.
Yeah.
So, but that's my Allman Brothers story there.
Yeah. I saw them once. I believe it was like in 2000 or 2001. When they came to Houston, that was the only time I saw them. And the reason, of course, I've been listening to the Allman Brothers, just the hits or stuff on the radio. But I've said this before. When in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, when I had fallen out of favor with rock music because of what was coming out at the time, I really started to delve back into classic rock.
Yeah. Bless you.
Excuse me. And I started to build up my record collection, and I bought Brothers and Sisters. That was the first Allman Brothers I bought, and I was amazed.
Right here,
by it.
man.
Yeah, right there. I was amazed by that album, and ever
Ah.
since then, I started to collect just anything and everything I could. We've got a section in this show called "What's Spitting," so I'm going to share some of my some of my Allman Brothers related stuff here. So I'll be doing
Yeah.
that in just a moment. Shane, so what have you been listening to, man?
What have I been
Yes,
listening to?
yeah. What's been spinning around your pad?
Yeah, yep. I wish I had a quick answer, but I don't. A little bit of everything, to be honest with you right now. The last stuff we were spinning on the stereo was Alice in Chains and Jerry Cantrell. We've got the entire available discography on vinyl between all of Alice in Chains, all of Jerry, and so we just been going through that. And there's another good band, great band.
That's a
I
great
don't know if I brought them
discography,
up with
man.
you guys, but it's the War Treaty. Has anybody ever heard of that band?
I've heard of them. They're kind of like
They are so good. And Dean Del Rey's podcast turned me on to them years ago.
What's the name of them?
And War and Treaty.
Okay.
And just they're kind of country, gospel,
kind of
rock.
folk, right? Yeah.
They're a little bit of just everything. Nothing that you might expect, but they play the Grand Ole Opry and the Ryman, and yeah, they kick ass. So people out there in video land, check out War and Treaty, man. Great band.
Cool. Definitely will, man.
Hey, well, what about you?
Well, the past 2 days I've been working like different parts of Florida, and where there's a thrift store, I stop. And I found some pretty good shit, man. So now I have a Laserdisc player and it still plays. I don't have it set up yet, but I found this thing by Michael Nesmith. It's a movie I guess he did called Elephant Parts. It came out in 81 or something like that. It looks interesting, man. I never heard of it, but it's called Elephant Parts by Michael Nesmith. I guess he directed it, and and he's in it and stuff. So I don't know, man. I never heard of it, but it was
He
it
was,
looked
yeah, he
it
was
looked
always on the cutting edge of video, music and video, and stuff that has to do with the camera. I
yeah,
mean, very, very groundbreaking.
yeah.
But he doesn't get very much attention, but he did.
Um, being from New Jersey, Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. As a matter of fact, it's funny that I bring this up because that night that I sat on stage with the Allman Brothers, their special guests on stage were the Jukes, the horn section from the Asbury Jukes.
Okay.
It was cool, man. So they got to go on stage. And being a New Jersey guy, I was never a big Southside Johnny fan or anything, but I saw this on Laserdisc. It's a concert at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park. Now the Stone Pony is a famous. It's still there. It's still standing. That's to me. That's like almost the equivalent of like CBGB's in New York in a way. It's a landmark. I mean, Bon Jovi and Springsteen and so many great acts like kind of got their start and played there, part of that Jersey Shore. And Southside Johnny was one of them. And there's a concert from Stone Pony, and I saw it on Laserdisc. So I'm like, for $2, why not, right? So, what the hell, man? I gotta have I'm just stupid with collecting shit, So,
We
I
both.
found it. I found a Tin Machine album with David Bowie. I
Dude.
never
Nice.
had this, right? And it's funny, like this is the first album, but when I opened it up, it tucked into the the artwork, the
Yeah.
booklet. It's actually the CD of the second album as well. So
Oh
I got both.
wow.
So I got both albums in like one shot. I didn't even know that, you
Yeah.
know. So that's the Tin Machine. So I got Tin Machine 1 and 2. I never had their I never had their albums, but I mean, I love Bowie, so
Yeah.
and I know this was a little harder edged like for him. It was a band, and so I'm kind of interested. I mean, I know some of their songs, but I never really delved into their albums, so it's kind of going to be cool to kind of check it out.
Yeah, they were
Um,
very critically acclaimed. The Tin
yeah.
Machine. Big time.
There was another Goodwill I stopped at, and it looks like somebody was getting rid of their prog collection, like prog rock.
Yeah.
So it was the first Emerson, Lake and Palmer on vinyl I
Nice.
got, and also Tarkus.
Oh, dude, that's my favorite by them. I love Turkus.
And the vinyl's good. It's in really nice shape. Like for $2 each, it's
Wow.
like you can't go wrong, man. And the covers are actually pretty good too. Elton John, 11/17/70.
Yeah.
I never
Live
had this
album.
on vinyl either. So that's kind of cool to have. And then Yes, Close to the Edge. I already had this on vinyl, but for $2, I was like, I won't let this copy sit there. So I took it. I could always like gift it to a friend or something, you know. As far as CDs goes, what do we got here? Discovery by Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh, okay.
This is the one with Don't Bring Me Down on it. 79.
Bruce.
Yeah. Eric Johnson, Venus Isle, which was his third album, and I didn't have this, and I like Eric Johnson, and I only really had Avi and Musicon by him, so I wanted to get more stuff by him. When I saw it, had to have it. So Peter Gabriel, Security, I didn't have this either on
Ooh.
CD, so I got that. That's
I
got
used to have
Shock
that
the
on vinyl.
yeah,
I used
it's got Shock. That's the one with Shock the Monkey on it,
Yeah.
and here it is, Genesis, Selling England by the Pound.
It's a badass album.
I have the box set CDs of all the early Genesis Gabriel era stuff, but those CDs are remixed. So this is an earlier CD. So I wanted to get like the original mix of it. So I saw it used, and I got that, and also Trick of the Tail too. I found that one too. This is a great
That was
album
a
too.
great era for them.
And I found this on VHS, so I bought it because I'm a Doors fan. So, Dance on Fire by the Doors. And I like collecting surround sound music too. Andy knows this. So when I find like a surround sound disc, when I find one, I usually buy it, even if it's not my cup of tea. But John Mayer, Heavier Things, I found this. It's a dual disc. Now, I don't know if you guys remember what dual discs
Oh
were.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
one side was a CD, the other side was a DVD.
Yeah.
It was a kind of a short-lived format, but I think it lasted maybe a year or two.
Yeah,
But
I
they
got to
didn't
know Young like that.
Yeah, so I had that Neil Young too. Actually, is it this greatest hits one?
No, it was Greendale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And on the DVD side, I looked on the back. I said 5.1 surround sound of the album. So I'm like, all right, cool. I don't really have a lot. I'm not. I saw John Mayer actually with when he was doing Dead and Company, and
Mhm.
I thought he was fucking amazing, dude. You know, he's a great guitar player. So, I mean, sometimes people think of like, he's kind of poppy, but not really. Not. He has like a blues kind of band too, which is great. But I think this is like one of his earlier albums. So heavier
That's a
things.
good album. Good album.
Yeah. So I'm like, why not, man? You know, get it
I've seen
and
him a
check
couple
it.
of times.
And I found 2 T-shirts too. Um, I'm always looking at one. One was the Violent Femmes.
Nice.
Wow. I've
Yeah. So
never seen a Violent Femme shirt like ever.
99 cents. And
Violent Femmes.
and the Breeders. You never
The
see a
Wow.
Breeders
Breeders.
shirt either.
No.
So,
Dude.
and this is a medium. My wife is a medium, so I bought this for my wife. She loves '90s alternative, so
Yeah.
she doesn't know it yet unless she's watching, but she's not watching this. So,
Oh, my wife doesn't either.
but I'm gonna surprise her with it when she comes home. You know. But that's my Goodwill finds for like the past 2 or 3 days.
Dude, that's
Wow.
awesome, dude.
I'm getting
Especially
crazy.
those T-shirts of the Breeders and Violent Femmes. Who would have
Yeah,
guessed that?
dude, I found a Venom shirt. You know the black, the
Mhm.
metal band Venom.
Well, they're
Yeah.
from there, right? From Tampa.
No, they're England. They're UK.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I found
Oh, yeah.
a Venom shirt and it had Kronos on the front. I'm like, dude, you never see like a shirt like that out in the wild or anything. You hardly ever see any of their music, like CDs or vinyl, because it's so
No.
expensive. They're hard to find, dude. Like stuff like that. And I saw a Venom shirt. It was small, but it would fit my daughter. I bought it anyway, man. You know. So I gave it to her. It's in her drawer. So like, I mean, I see shirts once in a while, like in Goodwill stores. I'm like, wow, dude, I've never thought like I'd ever see that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, who would have ever thought like you'd see a Violent Femme shirt like somewhere? You know?
Yeah, never.
So
Never.
yeah.
I don't
Anyway,
even
that's what I
know
got.
there's one made. What? Surprise them. Yeah. What I'm going to share with what's spinning, I'm going to share music that was associated with the Allman Brothers. So I'm going to start off with Dickie Betts and the Great Southern. He released some really good soul albums, especially there in the in the late '70s. So this one was Dickie Betts and Southern Comfort.
Oh, I real quick. As as far as like me seeing the Allman Brothers live, I did see Dickie Betts and Great Southern a few
Oh
times
wow!
as well. I saw him. You know, I mean, he played in my hometown in New Jersey, like a theater there. He played in like played quite a few places in New Jersey. I must have seen him probably about 4 or 5 times as
Oh, I
well.
never got to see him.
And he always put on a great show too. He had a great band with him. So anyway, go ahead, Andy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this is another one by Dickie Betts and Southern and the Great Southern. Atlanta's Burning Down. It's a really good one too. Dickie is one of my favorites in the band, and I think
Yeah.
this is the one you were talking about, the Highway Call, as well.
That's it, Richard Betts. Yeah, that's the one. I found that at a thrift store too.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more laid back than what we're used to.
Yeah.
I'll see. This one is a band called Sea Level. And this band has Chuck Leavell, J-Mo, and LeVar Williams are on this. And they did this when the Allman Brothers were kind of in a lull, I guess, in the late '70s. It's a little little jazz rock popish kind of sound. And then, of course, the always needed Laid Back by Greg Allman. This is a really good album, too. I really enjoyed this one. And I was going to see where this one was made. But this is something, I think I've showed you this one, Al. This is called The Allman Joys.
Yes.
Was the Allman Brothers.
That was pre-Allman Brothers, right?
Yeah, this was just Dwayne and Greg, and they were called the Allman Joys.
Yeah.
That was
Ah,
like late 60s.
Yeah.
You can hear a little bit of what they're going to become, but they were still very primitive. All right, so let's get to our rankings. There's 12 albums, so we'll do three, four. We'll do three at a time.
Okay.
All right, and we'll finish 3, 2, 1. All right,
Okay.
all right. Shane, the floor is yours, my friend. What is
oh
12,
boy.
11?
Okay. So we're gonna go what? 11, no, 12, 11, 10, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So thank you, by the way, just another thank you for giving me this opportunity to do a deep dive on a band I've always wanted to. And
Oh,
that's why I
cool.
love podcasts and shows like this that give me the opportunity. So, without further ado, my 12, Reach for the Sky. It was released in 1980. Didn't care for it, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a song to showcase on this one. It was definitely, I think, the Dickie Betts band at this point. I don't. It kind of felt like some of the other guys had pretty well checked out at this point. So that my number 12 is Reach for the Sky. My number 11 is Brothers on the Road, 1981.
Yeah.
I can at least say that Leaving is a great song and Never Knew How Much I Needed You. Those are two really great Greg Allman songs. Other than that, even the Bet stuff doesn't sing to me on that one. My number 10 is Where It All Begins in 1994. Okay, I know. I could care less about these guys in 1994, hand to God, but this album would have done zero to pique my interest. At this point, they're just sounding a little has been, and I don't know the band as well as a lot of people.
Right.
So I'm looking for that education and those other opinions. I can be changed.
I will talk about that album later.
Well, it's number 10. It's not
Yeah.
12. It's
Yeah.
number 10. And I love the song, the Haynes song, Soul Shine on this record is
Yeah, it's a good song.
spectacular. And Mean Woman Blues is a butt song, but it's a kind of, standard, but man, it's great. So yeah, man, that's my 12, 11, 10. I've got Reach for the Sky at 12, Brothers on the Road at 11, and Where It All Begins at 10.
Hey, I just wanted to say hi to my friend Keisha. Hey there, Keisha. It's so good to see you out there. And Jimmy and Michael Lynch, as always, thank you every week. All right.
Nice. All right. So my number 12, I'm going with Enlightened Rogues from 1979. Now, I like there's things on all the Allman Brothers albums that there's some that have like a couple good tracks on them, and but I think by this time I think kind of the fire was like kind of, for me it was kind of a little bit on the low side. It was it just I think they needed a break in a way. I think it was the first. I think it was the first album since like '76. I know Greg Allman kind of did like an album with Cher and
yeah, there was a lot of turmoil during the recording.
There was a lot of turmoil in the band. So, and I think like a lot of drug use and all that, it was still evident. So to me, this album is not as strong as like their other albums. I put this at the bottom, but there's still like good. There's still things. I mean, Dickie Betts was really kind of leading the charge in a way. It's got Crazy Love on it. It's got Pegasus. It's got Try One More Time. It's got a couple of good tracks on it. So that's going to be my number 12. My number 10, I'm going to 1990 for Seven Turns. This is the first album they came back since 1981. So really, all the 80s they were like out. They weren't doing anything and kind of just doing their own stuff. I know Greg Allman had, he had a couple of hits like solo, so he was doing okay solo career wise. So, but they came back on this album, and it's not a bad album. It's good, kind of, but it's not the comeback I thought. After listening to it, it was like, to me, like some of the albums after this one would be like really, really good. You know what I mean? So, and then and then Reach for the Sky from 1980 is going to be my number 10. Again, it's kind of the end of their run in the 70s into the 80s, and again, I think they kind of needed a break. Yeah, there you go. But again, it's not a bad album. It's
That's not.
okay. There's some good tracks on it, but it's not like the classic stuff, man. It was just like they needed like kind of a shake up, or they just needed to kind of go to do their own thing, and you know, I mean, Dickie was doing his own thing too, and you know, he was kind of had his, you know, he kind of had his one foot in his solo career, and then he kind of almost seemed like, yeah, Allman Brothers Band at that point was maybe an afterthought to him, you know. So I don't know, but that's my number 12, 11, and 10. Enlightened Rogues, Seven Turns, Reach for the Sky. Go ahead, Andy.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the Allman Brothers, there's a lot of history. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of tragedy and
Yeah,
legendary things that went on. During this time that we're talking about these Allman Brothers that just weren't that good, you know, Dwayne, I'm sorry, not Dwayne, but Greg took off and he moved to LA. And he was over there with Cher, and Dickie did not like that at all. So the
yeah,
way that they were recording instead, the way that they used to in Macon or in Georgia, they were going back and forth between LA during that time. Um, I'm going to start off my number 12. In fact, I found this when I was in Augusta, Georgia. The Allman Brothers. We're talking about the Brothers on the Road. I found that one on cassette for like $1.
okay,
And I had to get it. This album was a little bit too country flavored for me. It was a little too generic as well, and that's not what you expect from the Allman Brothers. You don't expect anything generic, but that's what was coming out. Like Butch Truck said, you know, at that time we were getting fucked up and we were fucking. That's all that they were doing. He also said that at a point we became rock stars and we stopped being musicians. And that's how this is pretty much this era is going to be talked about. I'm going to go my number 11. It was the beginning of the downfall for me. Win, lose, or draw. I'm going to put at number 11. This album here is completely detached. They're not a working unit. They're coming in with separate songs. They're going their own different ways, and it shows win, lose, or draw. And this one has already been mentioned, and I'm going to have to go with Reach for the Sky on for my number 10. So that's going to be Brothers of the Road, Win, Lose, or Draw, and Reach for the Sky. Even though I do like Reach for the Sky a little bit
yeah,
more than the others. Of course, I put it at number 10.
yeah.
So, all right, Mooger, let's go with your 9, 8, 7.
All right. At 9, I've got Shades of Two Worlds. And that's my number 9 because it's starting to sound a bit like generic 90s blues, just phoning it in feel. But I will say Midnight Man, it's a Betts Haynes composition, is really good on that record. So that's my number 9.
Which one's that one?
Shades of Two Worlds. Number 9. Yep. My number 8. I've got Enlightened Rogues from 1979. Is kind of a reunion record, but I don't care for this record at all. But I do like the song Just Ain't Easy. It's another Greg composition. I really like that song. But that's my 987, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for the recording of Enlightened Road.
Okay, so I did my 9 and 8. Okay, so now I got my 7. So let me hit 7. My number 7 is Seven Turns. But I said, man, they kind of feel back somewhat. You know, Tom Dowd returned as a producer for the better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The songs I love are Good Clean Fun, Shine It On, and Gambler's Roll. I like really those songs stood out to me on this one. So Seven Turns is my number 7. So I'm gonna go 9 is Shades of Two World, 8 Enlightened Rogues, and 7 Turns.
Cool. Al, what is your 987? Oh, I just wanted to say for the recording of Enlightened Rogues, they kind of gelled back together. That's why that album sounds so much better. But they lived together in a house in Florida at 461 Ocean Boulevard, the same
Yeah.
place that Clapton stayed at. I
Yeah.
guess that's some kind of rehab studio. I don't know, but they stayed there and they lived together for a month before they even started recording. And Greg and Dickie said that was some of the best times that they really got a lot of stuff out in the open. I think Greg and Cher's relationship went kaput, but Greg was also pretty much strung out on every pill imaginable, so they needed this time to regroup. And but then they splintered again. But we'll talk so much about them loving each other that they came back with a force. Go Al, 987.
By the way, I do have an Allman Brothers shirt and I couldn't find it, so I'm wearing a Doobie Brothers shirt. It's a Brothers shirt, so
Brothers.
You got some
anyway,
brothers
man.
on your
I
shirt,
do
man.
love
You
the Doobie
represent
Brothers as well, but I do have an Allman Brothers shirt and I couldn't find it. I have shirts out the ass too, so it's
I was gonna
unbelievable.
get their coffee mug, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah. My number 9, I'm going for with Brothers on the Road, 1981. Yeah, it's the last one, and they kind of broke off for a while, like almost a decade
Yeah.
before they would come back, and I think it was much needed. They were banged up. I mean, they did manage a top 40 hit on that with Straight from the Heart, but that was be the last top 40 hit, and I think they just kind of needed a break. I think they were just at the point where like their creativity juices kind of ran out a bit there. So that's my number. But again, it's still for the Allman Brothers. Still wasn't that bad for me. It was listening to it. It was like it doesn't hold up to classic stuff, but it's still Allman Brothers. I love the Allman Brothers. So, okay, my number 8. I'm gonna go with Win, Lose or Draw. Again, it's kind of like it's kind of hear better than but it's in the pantheon of Allman Brothers. It's a bit more mid to me, but still kind of sits a little lower. But I mean, actually, I don't know, man. I could have kind of been a little lower, and I put it higher. But you see, a lot of the middle albums, I never listened to them that much, so I had to deep dive into like kind of the middle, like the late 70s, early 80s, and kind of even like the early 90s stuff. Wasn't that familiar with that stuff, until later on. So, but I kind of dove into it there. But Win, Lose or Draw sits on my number 8, and then Shades of Two Worlds sits on my number 7. Not a bad album, but again, like it's got to sit somewhere. So it's kind of I mean now it's like we're getting into the middle, so it's like pretty good to me, like. But I mean from now on after this, it's gonna be like the shit. You know what I mean? So that's my was it 9, 8, and 7. So Brothers of the Road, Shades of Two Worlds, Win, Lose or Draw.
All right. So I am going to go with my number 9. Oh, okay. So sorry, guys. I thought I had things in order.
Okay.
My number 9, I'm going with Enlightened Rogues. I do love this album. I think this album is really good. I think it's very underrated. But yeah, you got Pegasus and Need Your Love So Bad, Sail Away. It's just a really good album. And this is one of the first ones with Dan Toller. And then Dan Toller will play a lot with Dickie Betts, especially in the Great Southern. And my number 8, I'm going to go with Seven Turns. And I agree with Al. When this came out, this was supposed to be like their big comeback because they had been the first album in 10 years. And of course, I didn't hear it in 91. I heard it later on, but I was expecting better things. And it was kind of flat for me. It was still a little bit too R&B-ish for me. This is the way I felt about that album. So that's my number 8. And my number 7, I'm going to go with My number 7, I'm going to go with Hitting the Note, which was their last album. This is the only one without Dickie Betts.
Yeah,
Right on this album, Derek Trucks takes over with him. And
I love that
and the
album, man.
Warren
Actually,
Haynes will have
yeah.
Warren Haynes. So that's my 987.
All right.
All right, 6, 5, 4. Go, Mooger.
I think
Okay.
now we're getting into cream. So
Now,
Yeah.
now we're getting there. Now we're getting there. Okay, my number 6 is Win, Lose, or Draw. You could tell there was, this is from 1975. In my opinion, you could sound that it sounded like the band was in trouble. But it's a great sounding record, man. Great sounding record. And the song "Win, Lose, or Draw" is my pick off of that record, man. But that, yeah, "Win, Lose, or Draw" 1975 is my 6. From here on in, it gets very hard, quite honestly. So
yeah, yeah,
don't hate me, people, for where these rank, because it's very hard moving forward. But number 5 is "Eat a Peach" from 1972.
Whew. Okay.
It feels low. It feels low in the list for me. But here we are. But my notes are rest in peace, Dwayne. The album seems a little piecemeal because they were trying to kind of, okay, where do we go? How do we do this? And what a fantastic record, man. You got the most drunk, drugged up, beautiful vocal I've ever heard on Melissa. I mean, that vocal's barely making it, but it is so perfect. And Blue Sky with Betts, man, I love that song too. I've heard those songs for
Dickie
years.
Betts sings Blue Sky. I just love Dickie Betts' voice. But
Yeah.
then the problem with their later albums was that he took too much control. I liked it when when they would pepper him here and there because it would
Yeah,
change the
I
chord.
agree.
I agree, man.
A little bit of mellowness with great guitar playing when it was just great. But Blue Sky, it just
And
My God, what a classic, man.
it's a great song. I mean, a big time classic. And you always knew Dickie Betts' sound, man. You always knew when he was sprinkling his magic into those songs. It was like, well, that was a Dickie lick. That was a Dickie solo. You know, it's like, okay. Yeah.
and his laid back Southern vocals. Oh my God, it's like
Oh,
butter. It really is.
Amen. I agree completely. So my number 4 would be Hitting the Note. And there was no back.
Yeah,
However, this album sounds more like classic Almonds to me, man. They were kind of bringing that back. Um, I think, I think Allman and Haynes worked incredibly well together on this record. So you got like, was it Desdemona is a great song, and Old Before My Time is a great song.
yeah,
So many
yeah.
good tunes on this record. That's my number 4. So
All right, cool,
my
man.
Nice.
Yeah, my number 6 is Win, Lose, or Draw. Number 5, Eat a Peach. And number 4, Hitting the Note. And like I said, here on in, man, these could have fallen almost anywhere. Getting tough.
All right, man. Where it all begins, my number 6. Now, to me, Allman Brothers were a live band. The live albums are where it's at for them. I mean, it would be unfair to include live albums because everybody's number one what it would be, pretty much. So, but I know that Greg Allman kind of was he was very dissatisfied with studio albums. So producer Tom Dowd put them up just on a stage to record this album and said just record live. Like you're recording, like you're playing a concert. And it sounded good. I thought Warren Haynes was really coming into his own here and stuff like that. Barry Oakley was still bass player. And this gets up there. They're really kind of reviving themselves in the 90s with this album. So that's my number 6. Number 5, Hitting the Note. As far as the Latter Day albums, that's my favorite album by them. I don't know. I love, and this is one of those where if we had a list of bands' final albums, this could fall on that top 10 list.
It can.
It's a great final album. I don't know if it would fall in my top 10. It would definitely fall in my top 15 or 20. As far as bands' last albums that were great. you know. And if they went out hitting a note, they went out on a high note on this one, I thought. And a little bit of trivia is the album cover is done by Hugh Syme, who did all the Rush
Nice.
album covers
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
from Caress of Steel on. So he did this album cover.
Hey,
You could
hey,
tell by look.
real
Yeah,
quick
yeah.
break. Check out the Freeform Rock podcast featuring Hugh Syme's artwork. Back to our normal program.
Yeah, that's a great one, man. I saw that one. It's a good one. So yeah, hitting the note will be my number 5. Now my number 4. This is tough as hell, man. When you get down to the final 4, it's just rough, man. And I put at number 4. I put Brothers and Sisters. And I mean, come on, man. To me, like these next 4 are like, dude, you can't get any better. But I got to put them somewhere, so I'm putting Brothers and Sisters at number 4. I mean, God, I mean, dude, I mean, you got Rambling Man. That's the biggest. You know, you got Jessica on here. I mean, and you got Wasted Words. You got Pony Boy, Jelly Jelly. I mean, it's just an incredible album, man. You know, it's not a bad song in this album. So, and this is when, you know, when Dickie became kind of like, you know, he took over. Like, not took over, but he had to kind of show a bit of a leadership because Dwayne was gone, you know. So, you know, it was a shame, but you know they soldiered on, and this is a great record, man. So that's my 4.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Andy.
You were just talking about Rambling Man. When my wife and I went to Georgia, we did go to Macon, and we did go to the cemetery. We did see the plots and all that.
Yeah.
But we also went to the museum called the Big House, and what the Big House was Dickie Betts rented a house in 1970 with him and his girlfriend. Well, the rest of the band just moved in. They would record and rehearse, and they all made their own little rooms everywhere. And it was a pretty cool little museum. There's even in the kitchen the table and chair where Dickie Betts wrote A Rambling Man, and where they wrote this song, and what they did over here, and it was just a great experience. Really cool. So, with that being said,
what was I gonna say? There was something about. Oh, I mean that's cool that like you got to see that. I'd love to go see that cemetery where they're at, man.
Yeah,
and where's that located again?
It's in Macon, Georgia.
Yeah. And Georgia's not like, I mean, it's drivable for me, you know, from Florida. It's the next state up, so.
And they got that museum there. Dude, their memorabilia is.
I'd love to go there, man. I actually would think about going there.
Which what I thought was really cool too is that they had their union cards. They're like musician union cards.
Wow,
that's so badass, you know, to know that, you know, they were musicians, but it's also a job. It's also a corporation and stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So it's cool.
One more thing. I remember when I would see Dickie Betts live, whenever, you know, Ramblin' Man would be like pretty much one of the last songs of the set. And whenever he'd go into it, he'd always joke around. He's like, here's the song that pays the bills. And he'd go right into Ramblin' Man. Because that's such a big hit. I mean, the publishing and the money he made on that song probably sustained him for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? So
if he retained it.
Yeah. If he retained it. I think he did. So
that's great if he did.
Oh, dude, they were smart businessmen. Dude, they were making like 100,000 a night.
Yeah.
In like 73 and 74.
That's a lot of money, dude.
It's a lot of drugs.
Yeah, and they probably blew it on a lot of drugs, but still, they were making good money, man.
Yeah, well, they could, and now they're still all right.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Whatever. You know, we always talk about Live at the Fillmore East, but for me, I absolutely love Wipe the Windows, Fill the Gas. Do you know what I'm talking about, Al?
Yes.
I absolutely love that album because it's got more brothers and sisters on there. It's got more cohesive songs on there.
Yeah.
And Dickie really does fly off the rails, man. He has to.
Yeah, Fillmore East is usually the go-to like for everybody, but yeah, that's a great one, man.
I'm trying to find it. I know I have it here with me somewhere. I'll find it. But I'm going to start off. It's going to be a shocker, but it's part of beginnings. I'm going with their debut album as my number 6.
Okay.
I just don't think that they were quite there yet. That's my number 6. Number 5. I'm going to go with Shades of the World as my number 5.
Oh, okay.
I absolutely love this album. I think this is the first one with Warren Haynes, or was he on Seven Turns?
Seven Turns was what year? It was 90. He was on that. Yeah, he was on that.
Okay.
It was him. That was him and Warren Haynes with
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Dickie and Warren were the team on there.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, there were the team on here too, not just singing, but writing as well. This is a fantastic album. I absolutely love Shades of the World.
Yeah.
And my number 4, I'm going to go to Where It All Begins as my number 4. I mean, Soul Shine, the album track, but it's Where It All Begins. It's like,
what a great song, man.
It's like a 9-minute song with Dickie. It's badass, man.
But Soul Shine too is such a great,
yeah,
you know.
And also this start with All Night Train. This was one of the first albums again that Greg started writing again, because he had stopped writing for a while and he was just singing what the others were writing. He started writing again, and All Night Train tells you why. He tells you that song is all about his drug addiction and his way back.
Yeah,
and that was such a celebration that led to this album. No One to Run With, another great track, which was a big radio hit for them. It was so cool. You know, he's got no one to run with anymore. No one wants to do the things that we used to do. Well, no, Greg, they're already 60. They don't want to do that anymore. So, yeah, Where It All Begins, it's a really good album. So that's my 654, their debut, Shades of the World, and Where It All Begins.
There you go.
What are your top 3 albums for the Allman Brothers, Shane?
Oh, right. Oh, here we go, man. My number 3 is going to be Idlewind South from 1970. Like I said, man, it's hard from 5 on in, man. Kind of hard to rank these, but number 3, Idlewind South. I love the songs Don't Keep Me Wondering, Midnight Rider. Come on, man. If that just doesn't put you in a mood, man. And like Please Call Home, another great. I mean, these are all Greg Allman songs and they're fantastic. My number 2 is Brothers and Sisters from 1973. Rambling Man and Jessica. Come on, beautiful.
Classics.
Beautiful. Classic. Amen. And my number 1, going back to the beginning, the debut, the Allman Brothers Band from 1969.
Wow.
It's not my.
It is a great debut, man.
Every Hungry Woman, Whipping Post. Come on.
Come on. That's. I mean, just for that track alone, man. You know.
Like I said, man, anywhere from 5 to 1, you can mix and match.
You can, yeah.
That
and I think like they mix up for me too. The top 4 or 5, you know, they could interchange. So
absolutely. So that's my number 3. Idlewild South. Number 2, Brothers and Sisters, and my number 1 is the debut, the Allman Brothers Band.
Yeah, the way it ends with that with Dreams I'll Never See and Whipping Post. Oh, what a great 2-punch goes out that album.
All right, my number 3 is going to be the debut. I have the Beginnings vinyl here. I also have the debut on CD somewhere. I think I have Beginnings on CD as well. I have 2 versions of Beginnings. It has this cover and then it has a different cover as well. But yeah, the first album, Whipping Post, come on. I mean, a classic beyond classics, you know what I mean? So, dude, you can't get much better than that, you know, but you do gotta get it a little better than that for me. But yeah, that debut was a great debut. And the Pantheon of debuts, I think that's a good one. They were great right out of the gate, in my opinion. So, So that debut was my number 3. My number 2 also, Beginnings Out of the Wild South. You know, dude, in memory of Elizabeth Reed, especially the live version, man. But it's still a great studio version.
You know,
Midnight Rider. Even since I was a kid, I mean, that song was like, I love that song. There was something about that song and Greg's vocals, and I don't know, it was just so like, and Dickie's and Dwayne's guitar and the slide on there, and oh, it's just so. As a kid, man, I remember just hearing that on the radio and just being like, and then as becoming later on, getting older and hearing it again, I'm like, wow, I remember growing up with that song. It's just something about that song, man. It evokes real young memories of like listening to the radio. Maybe I think driving with my parents and they would put on the radio or something. I would hear that song. I can vividly remember it. Going
You
on
could
long
see,
drives.
yeah, you could see that song. That's
yeah,
Yeah,
how perfect that you can
it's
see it,
very
you feel it.
visual.
You are the Midnight Rider, man. You hear those
Yeah,
drums, that bass, those keys. It's like,
I
wow.
mean, it's definitely a. If you're going on long rides, it's definitely a great long ride playlist song.
oh yeah,
In my opinion. So, um, dude, my number one. I mean, in the pantheon of double albums, we don't talk about this album that much, and we should, because to me, Eat a Peach is one of the greatest double albums of all time, man. I even though it's half studio and half live, I still think it's fucking phenomenal, dude. It's like I mean, we always talk about like Physical Graffiti, the White Album, and with good reason because those are classics beyond classics. But to me, man, Eat a Peach is like right up there too. Should be up
Mhm.
there, but like in the conversation, And
Agreed.
I don't know, dude. It's just like the Mountain Jam on there. What is that? Like almost an hour?
yeah. I did side 2 and side 4. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, side 2 it ends, and then when you get back to side 4,
yeah.
unless you have the CD version, and the CD version they actually put it together,
Oh, do
which
they
is
really? You see, dude, that's too long. 40 minutes was too long.
yeah, yeah. But the CD version they did tack it together, you know. I guess if you want to hear it in continuity, it's kind of good, but then when you're used to the album version, like flipping the vinyl,
You need that. You really do need that side 3 because side 3 has little Martha. It's got
yeah,
Blue Sky, and then they
yeah,
continue with the Mountain Jam. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Melissa, dude, I love that. That's a classic too,
yeah,
and Blue Sky, like so awesome. Dickie was just he was an amazing songwriter, man. Like he really in the pantheon of songwriters, he should be talked about more because
he
Dickie
really
wrote a lot of great songs, man.
is. It just came so natural to him, dude. It's
It
just so
did,
good.
it did, man, and he should be in the conversation more. But again, I think when I'm gonna talk about double albums more, I think Eat a Peach should be in there, and I always forget about it, and I shouldn't. Because Allman Brothers, I love that band. Allman Brothers is my favorite. If you're talking about the jam band genre, they're probably my favorite of all time. I mean, I can't think of anybody better than them that would just improvise on songs. I've seen them multiple times and going into these jams that would just climax and explode and on stage, and it was so good, man. Even Derek Trucks, man, later on as a young kid, like going into that band, was
Yeah,
just an incredible prodigy, man. You know, and seeing him live it was really he almost really kind of evoked that spirit of Dwayne, man. It was like
Mhm.
Dwayne came alive on stage again,
weird. Yeah,
with him.
yeah.
It was incredible. Like, and I've actually seen Derek Truck solo as well. Never saw the Tedeschi Trucks band, but I did see him Derek Trucks do a Halloween show actually at a club in New Jersey, which was really cool. It was cool. He had like Halloween stuff like all over the stage. It was pretty cool, pretty funny, man. But what a kid, man. I mean, he's not a kid anymore, but as a kid, man, he was just blowing minds at
Yeah,
how good he
I got his
was.
debut album, and his debut album is so good. I forgot to pull it out, and I'm surprised
Yeah,
I didn't pull that one out.
and I'm glad I got to meet him and just real quick, give me a couple words. But he was very shy. He was just like, hey, no, thank you, and kind of signed. And I didn't want. He was dude. That's how like he just came out of the side of the Beacon Theater and just went up the street and just started walking up by himself, man. like he was going to go to his hotel room or wherever he was going,
Yeah.
just humble and yeah. I just played a fucking great gig. Yeah, let me just go walk the streets of New York. You know,
He seems
that's
shy and quiet. He does.
yeah, he is, man. And I almost felt bad running up on him, but he was cool, man. He was nice. He was like, yeah, I'll sign, whatever you want, dude.
You're all,
So
hey, buddy, I'm talking to you.
nah, I kind of ran up and I was like, hey, Derek, I was at the show tonight. It was a great show, and I got this. I was sitting on stage. that actually, like, made him. Actually, then he stopped and he was like, "Oh, you were sitting on stage? Okay, yeah. I remember seeing you on there and stuff." So, um, that was really cool. It was a cool moment for me, And as a guitar player myself, I mean, I'm nowhere near his level. He's just a prodigy. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
he's one of those guys that's actually just born with that talent. You know what I mean? So,
Dude, he was so young when he was already doing that with them.
incredible. And
Yeah.
I just over the weekend too, I just saw Joe Bonamassa in concert,
Yeah.
and he was incredible. And I remember when he first started, he was only 14, 15 years old, dude.
I want to
I
go.
remember seeing,
I think he's coming here soon.
and he was awesome, man. I mean, if you like blues and stuff, I mean, he's incredible, So anyway,
I saw Joe when he was 15 years old in Fort Wayne, or maybe 16 years old. He was
wow,
with a band called Bloodline.
Bloodline. That
And
was his first band, yeah.
yep, they were touring the first record, and he came into Fort Wayne, and the club here they were going to play couldn't have him because he was underage. So they moved it to a reception hall next door.
Wow,
Yeah, man. I got to meet him. I was shaking this little kid's hand, going, "Oh my God, he's amazing!" But he's
that's
he's
cool.
so young. He's never going to do anything. And then Fort Wayne became his home away from home. His first live DVD was shot at Pierre's here in Fort Wayne.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so it was pretty cool, man. I got to see Joe a lot. And we just saw him a month ago here in Fort Wayne. I mean, just amazing. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It was back in the fall, but it was just an amazing show. Great stuff.
Yeah, and I saw Joe. It was funny because when I saw him on Saturday, the day before on Friday, it came up in my Facebook memories that I had seen him 4 years ago in New Jersey
Oh
doing a
wow.
show. So it was almost 4 years to the day that I was seeing him again. But I saw him earlier than that. I saw him with Black Country Communion when they had that first album out, which
Yeah.
was amazing because
Yep.
they only really toured on that first album. They haven't toured it since then. I don't know if they did sporadic shows here and there, but that was really the only major, and it wasn't even a major tour. It was like a rare appearance. They played at a club in New Jersey. I got to meet all of them. I even got to meet the great Glenn Hughes. I got a picture with Jason Bonham. It was an amazing night, you
Oh,
know. And I got to meet Joe Bonamassa and Derek Chirini and all the guys, and it was great to see them live, because that's a great band, and they don't really tour because of Joe Bonamassa's solo career. It's just his solo career is much bigger than
yeah.
what Black Country Communion would play. Black Country Communion, if let's be honest, if they're they're gonna play clubs. Whereas Joe is, I mean, I saw him in an amphitheater, and he was packing it
Oh
out,
God, I'm sure.
pretty well. So I mean, that's his bread and butter. That's where he's making the money. So I can I think for a while, I think Glenn Hughes was actually frustrated with him because he wasn't like torn. He wasn't able to clear out a schedule to do a Black Country Communion. But I was fortunate enough to see them on that first album tour, which was cool. And I remember them doing Medusa by Trapeze,
Oh
which
yeah.
was
Nice.
it was cool. And they did it Burn by Deep Purple, because they only had the one album out, so they were filling it out with like some covers. And dude, you could tell Joe Bonamassa is a hard rocker at heart too. He loves that hard rock stuff, man, and he could fucking play the shit out of it. He was jamming Burn, dude. I mean, I was like, this guy was doing fucking Blackmore like it was natural. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and Medusa's a great song too. It's pretty heavy, man. Trapeze,
Yeah.
that early trapeze stuff is
Yeah.
cool, man.
I think I have two Trapeze albums. Medusa, I know. But
I
I
have
think
that one too.
two. I think
Yeah,
I have two of them.
yeah. Anyhow, man, Andy, end it off, man.
Yeah. My 3, 2,
I'm
1.
curious to see what your 3, 2, 1 is, man.
Idlewild South is my number
Dude,
3.
there's no wrong answers here. Actually, I mean,
Just a two.
No.
that's the shit right there.
Dude, just when you put down the needle and revival starts.
Oh, Revival. Oh my God.
Oh, dude. That's it. That is all that you needed.
Oh,
And there,
I loved hearing that live too, man.
yeah, oh yeah. And I wanted to say, the Allman Brothers hung out at that cemetery a lot. So right next to them, where they're buried, the real stone of "In Memory of Elizabeth Reed," which is where they got the title from, is not
Is
that
there?
far from them.
Wow,
Yep.
wow,
My
that's
number
cool,
two.
man. I got to visit that place.
Yeah, dude, it's really worth it, dude. Macon's a nice place, and not just that. If you want to make a weekend or like a little week out of it, like a vacation, um, uh, what's the name of that city on the coast? I will send it to you. Oh, Savannah. Savannah's not
Yeah,
that,
Savannah, Georgia. Yeah,
and Savannah's pretty, dude. And there's
and
also,
I've driven through Savannah, so
yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty there. Um, my number two, the Almond brothers and sisters. It's going to be my number two.
yeah.
And Jessica, Southbound Rambling Man, Wasted Words. It's just so good, dude.
I could have swapped that one for the debut. Actually, I should have put Brothers and Sisters at 3. But again, it could interchange. I love the debut too.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
So
but dude, nothing is better than Eat a Peach. That's
uh,
dude. You open it up, dude. I really love the inside
I
of the
have the vinyl too. I just couldn't find it right now.
awesome word. It's like Mushroom Land or whatever, man. It's that their iconic mushroom logo, I guess. It's
Yeah,
iconic
yeah.
since for
When I
almost the beginning.
when I would see them live at the Beacon Theater, they would have like mushrooms like on the stage, and
Yeah.
it was really cool, man.
And then of course the back is the watermelon and the front is
Yeah.
the peach. Um my uncle Arturo, God bless his soul, he got me into this album. And when I had got it, he goes, dude, open up the gatefold, and I opened it, and he was telling me all about the inside of it. I think some of it wasn't true, but still, I thought it was awesome. But ain't wasting time no more. What an opener! Again, dude, these guys are just the greatest. And the thing is that there's no one else that really sounds like them. Nobody sounds
No,
like Allman Brothers.
no, no,
Um, I know that they compare them to Leonard Skinner. They're not even close.
no.
I mean, and no disrespect to Leonard Skinner because I love Leonard Skinner, but their genre of music wasn't even the same at all. But my number one,
Yeah,
Eat a Peach.
that's the thing with the Allman Brothers. They really weren't just southern rock. They touched on so many different like sounds and moods, and I mean they could be jazzy, they could
Yep.
be R&B, they could be. I mean it's just blues.
Yeah.
They were like so diverse, man. You know,
Or
and seeing them live was just the experience of a lifetime. It's a shame, like for some people who never saw them live. That's really where they came alive, man. Was on stage, just improvising and just going into these jams. It was so good, man. Where they would stretch songs out and it was just and go do like these almost go do these jazzy jams, and then they do like a Latin kind of, you know, going to this kind of Latin-y kind of thing. It's dude, it was just there's nothing like that, man. You know,
and when I was pulling out these albums, the CDs, I was like, you know what, I really do need more live because I only have like the other two that we talked about, which is which is live at the Fillmore East and also Wipe the Windows. And when I was pulling them out, I found this one, an evening with the Almond Brothers at the Orpheum. So I didn't even know I had this. I was
is
like,
that the first set or second set?
it's first set.
Yeah, because they have the first set, and then I have both of those on vinyl. That
Okay.
I've been picking up Allman Brothers whenever they have a record store they release a live.
Yeah.
I always pick it up, and one of
Okay.
my favorite ones is Fillmore in 1970, and it's not the Fillmore East. It's a different because I think Fillmore East is 71,
Yeah.
I
It is.
believe. Dude, they have a Fillmore East that they put out. It was 1970, and it comes with. I should have went and got it from my room, but it has a glow in the dark poster. It came with like all these cool like shit. It was a record store day like exclusive, and I picked it up. It was only limited to like, I don't know if it was like limited to like 500 or 1,000 or
Oh wow,
something.
really?
So it's really hard. It's probably like I mean, if you're gonna buy it now, it's probably like expensive. But yeah, I had to snatch that one up. That was one I had to have, man. Like especially that early stuff with Dwayne. I gotta have it, man.
Yeah.
Another record store release, and the quality is not that great because it's actually a bootleg. I think it's like an actual audience recording, somebody who had a tape recorder in the audience. But it was Dwayne Allman's last performance ever.
Oh wow.
That was a record store day release. I picked it up on vinyl just to have it because it's a historical,
Oh,
concert. It's
yeah.
Dwayne's last show ever. So I
Mm.
got that one. I got the first and second sets. Those.
The Orpheum.
I got a couple of live ones, man, like record store day stuff. So I got to look on because I'm going to record store day this year. I got to look. I didn't even look at the list yet. But I don't know if there's an Allman Brothers show on there, but usually there usually is.
So I'm gonna
So I
really
gotta check it out.
deep into this one, but yeah, this is the first set. So, so did they ever sell them together, or did they sell them separate? Al?
A
The first
separate, I
set,
believe, because I
separate.
think they're two separate shows. Actually, they're not the
Okay.
same. So I think they are. I could be mistaken, but I think they're two separate shows. You
Yeah, I'm
know.
gonna probably jam this tonight. I'm very
Yeah.
excited to hear it because, dude, the set list on this one it's so impressive, dude. It starts off with End of the Line, Blue Sky, Get On with Your Life, Southbound, Midnight Blues, Melissa, Nobody Knows, Dreams and Revival.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Dreams, another song that's incredible. As
Well,
a matter of
they,
fact, my friend Donato is the girl that he used to date at the time.
yeah.
Because I didn't sit on stage with him. He actually went to a different show that same run, the same Beacon Theater run. But I knew his girlfriend was at the time. She was a big Allman Brothers fan too. She actually had dreams. Actually has dreams tattooed on her wrist. She's
Oh
that
yeah.
big of a fan. And I was gonna go 2 nights to sit on stage, but I knew how much it meant to her, and I didn't want to. I was like, give your girlfriend a. They're not together anymore, whatever.
Yeah, but still at the time.
But still at the time,
Yeah.
like I was like, dude, take your girl. You two experience like the lifetime. Because I could have sat on stage twice on that run, but I gave the tickets to him. I'm like, dude, you take your girl, man, and then
Yeah.
the one I sat on stage with it was my friend Ryan, who I grew up with. I grew up with him since like elementary school, since we were like fucking born almost. So me and him went and we sat on stage together. It was great. It was awesome to experience with him too because he's a big Allman Brothers fan too. He loves that. I should have actually asked him if he wanted to come on here, but I don't know if he's a big podcast guy though. If he'd like do one of these. But anyway, but yeah, it was really cool to like say that I got to experience Allman Brothers live a lot. And that last show sitting on stage, I'll never experience anything like that ever again. It's
Anybody.
just
Yeah.
yeah, it's just you got front row, which I've been front row plenty of times, but to fucking sit on stage with a band,
Honestly,
dude, it's like unbelievable, man. And it's only two people sitting on stage. It's not like they had a row of people. It was
right.
just me
Yeah.
and my friend, and that was fucking it. Actually, I gotta try find because I know around the time that they were doing those shows, they had because I think Butch Trucks was the one that kind of um I don't know if he was the one that kind of spearheaded. I guess they had something called I don't remember the name of it, but they would video themselves too and kind of stream it out. Like people that didn't go to the shows, they could watch it on the internet.
Oh wow.
It was kind of the infancy of like kind of streaming
Live stream.
before like it was really. I mean, I guess at that time in the late 2000s, it wasn't refined yet like it is now. But you could actually like watch it live over the internet if you wanted to. I think they used to sell packages like for somebody who wanted all 15 shows and wanted to watch all of them. You can get like a package or something like that. But I think financially, I think, I think Derek, not Derek, Butch got in trouble. I think it didn't take off and it cost him a lot of money. And I think him taking his life was a whole financial thing. I read up on it, like he was broke or something like that, or he was in
Really.
financial like despair, you
Like
know.
no way
And
out.
it's like you think about it, it's like why did you take your life because of that reason, you could fucking just declare bankruptcy or somehow get out of it, somehow he didn't. I don't know. There could be I mean, I didn't know the guy personally. There could be other underlying
Right.
things with it. But I mean, that's the official story. He was in financial trouble, and he took his life from a gunshot wound to the head. It
Hmm.
sucks, dude. When I heard that news, I was like, why, dude? It's like,
He's got a name that he can make money off of doing almost.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I guarantee you now, like he could have financially benefited, being still around.
Oh yeah,
There,
autograph.
he could have easily just said, "Man, I'm broke. Just separate from everything. Tell everyone that you want to take care of. I'm going to do my best." But all of that weight could just be off of you, and then you just, yeah, man, you're starting from here. That does so.
Yeah,
Start, man. Just stick with it. Stick
Yeah.
with it.
yeah.
Yeah, it just.
So
I agree with you guys. It's kind
it's
of
just a
just kind of
shame, man.
heartbreaking.
Like he thought he had no way out. It
Mm,
sucks, dude, because as somebody who's been like in despair and I found my way out of it. I'm so glad like I didn't go through with anything stupid.
Right.
You always find a way. Like there's always a brighter light, man. You know,
Tomorrow. Yeah.
there's always tomorrow, man. And like, you know, it's just it's not worth it, dude. You know what I mean? It's
Dude,
just the message I'm trying to put
tomorrow's
out there.
a day. We don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
Keith Emerson, he's another one, man. I guess he had like some sort of ailment which prevented him from playing at the level that he played. I mean, we're talking about one of the greatest keyboardists of all time was Keith Emerson. I mean, nobody was like fucking better than him in the prog world. I mean, he was like there was other keyboardists and then there's Keith Emerson. To
right.
me, he was like the Hendrix of like keyboards.
Oh well,
You know what
yeah.
I
They
mean?
built everything around him.
Yeah, and I think I think he became depressed and he couldn't play at the level that he was normally used to playing at, and he ended his own life too, man, which sucks, dude. And it's like retire gracefully, dude. You didn't have to prove anything anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, and everybody's different. Everybody's mindsets are different.
You know.
I can't go into somebody else's mind and be like, we can only put a word out there that, things are not, you know, it's not worth taking your own life for. It's, that's
Yeah.
just my
Everyone's
message
got
to.
their own story, man. Everyone's got a
Yeah,
story.
exactly, man. Exactly. So,
And we just, when you're clear headed and you're not in a bad place and you're not in a dark place, it's real easy to go, geez, why would you end it? But these
yeah,
people who end it and don't, make it to another day, we'll never know where they were at that point. So it's
yeah,
like you said, man, all you can do is just offer encouragement and say, hey guys, tomorrow's another day and there is a light and there's something to hang on to, so just
yeah,
keep hanging on. It's easy for, like I said, it's really easy, and we're not being condescending by saying that. We're
Right.
just actually putting that out as goodwill, like,
yeah,
but people, get mad at me and they're like, well, you don't know what that person was going through. It's like, absolutely do not know what that person was
We
going
don't.
through. But I'm
yeah,
just here to say, hey guys, listen to some music, get out of your head
yeah.
for a minute and
Exactly,
enjoy
man.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Everybody goes through darkness, man.
Yeah.
So at one
Absolutely.
point or another. But anyway, go ahead, Andy.
Well, that's our show, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Michael Lynch, Jimmy James Swartz, and Shakisha. It's really good to hear from you. Thank you so much, Mooger. Thank you, Shane, for being on with us.
Well,
Um,
thank you. Thank you guys always for having me. Always a good time, man. And you always get me thinking about something new. And next time I'm on your show, if I'm blessed enough, I will have show and tell ready. I keep forgetting about that. So,
That's all right.
I will
It's all
go
right.
ahead and remind you if you want to bring some stuff out. No problem. Al, what's going on next week?
Well, I'm still brainstorming, but I think it's gonna be. I'm trying to think of a triple album battle,
All right.
and I will announce who will be the albums
Okay.
within the next day or two, and we'll get see if it draws up interest from some people who would probably be into it, and we'll take it from there, man. You know.
All right. And always Al's triple albums, I tell you, it introduces me to new albums, stuff that I've never heard that has turned me into getting into this thrash genre. Now I don't know what Al's going to be saying next week. Well, next week, but we've been doing some thrash albums that has really caught my attention to something.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a different genre, but it'll be interesting.
But always interesting. All right, guys, thank you so much from me, Al, and Mooger. Keep them spinning, y'all. Take care.
Hey, and subscribe to Black Spinner Circle, man.
Yes, like and subscribe.
Yeah, get Andy's numbers up. Let's go, man. Cheers,
Bye.
everybody.
Y'all take care.
Love you guys. Later.
Take care. Love you.
I can't get out of here.